What's going on YouTube? Claic Yuzolt back again with another Final Fantasy Brave Exvius banner review. And today we're going to review this banner we have over here. Yes, it is a little different than it was in JP. The reason it's different is they don't want us to have Bards. Apparently they hate Bards. Gumi does not like Bards, and they think Bards are too OP, so we don't have Roy. Instead, we have Loren or Lorraine from the JP version. Before we get into this review, I do want to state that Loren, as we have it here, did come from the EX point system. So essentially, there used to be a unit. You know how you guys can get like 4-star tickets, rainbow tickets, metal gigantoire, things like that, or gigantoire from the EX tickets, depending on how much lapis you get. You know, you go down the rewards. Loren over here was one of them. But and I think that was the only way you could get her. I don't think she was on a banner after talking to some people. So it's kind of weird that we have to pull for her. And I'm worried that, like, we'll pull for her and then she'll end up on the EX system. Just, you know, take that for what you will. I do want to make sure you guys are informed on that. She used to only be a reward for EX system users, and you can just keep getting her if you spend a lot of lapis, and that way you get a lot of her TM. It's a little bit different here, and we are going to have to pull for her. So without further ado, let's get into this review. The first unit on this banner we're going to start talking about is Amy. That's right, the 3-star going up to 5-star base unit. Normally like a throwaway TMR fodder, and for this one, yes, it still is TMR fodder, but the TMR isn't that great either. The TMR is a light armor giving you 38 defense, enabling an ability that gives you attack 30% and spirit 30% when wielding a bow. Now, this isn't just like a bow mastery kind of thing. It's a materia. It does take place of your armor spot. Overall, I don't know when this will be useful. I haven't really seen anything in the future where you're going to definitely want this. However, if you pull in this banner, you'll probably get a lot of her, so that's it. The only other factor we want to talk about Amy here is she hates birds just as much as Waka does. She has an ability that does more damage if you're attacking birds. So that's about it for Amy. Really just overlooking unit, although she looks pretty damn good. Okay, so the next unit we're going to discuss here is Chloe, 4-star base going up to 6-star support unit. Brings a lot of support going into your team. Now, I am kind of excited for Chloe. We'll get into why in a minute. Her TMR is proof of talent. This is going to be a materia that gives you 30% to your magic and then increases your counter chance by a bit there. Now, guys, this doesn't seem like something you'd want to put on a lot of your mages. You know, it gives you a little bit more than the normal magic, 30%. You don't want your mages getting hit and hitting back, but there are a few units I think this could be okay on. The first up we're going to talk about is White Knight Noel. I mean, you could build him up to be like a counter damage tank in a way. If you want to put that on him, put his magic up, you know, because he does have the chance to counter and do a little bit of damage that way. And then you can put it on Veritas of the Light because they have a chance, you know, she has a chance to hit back. I'm pretty sure Veritas of the Light is a girl. Anyway, she has a chance to hit back and do the Imperil, so if you put that chance up, that's really good for you too, for the Light Imperil. And then you can also, maybe in the future, we have Rubicante coming out. And remember, from what we learned about FanFest, Rubicante has an ability where he can counter with big hitting magic moves. So maybe you'd want to put that on him because he is a mage, you know, put that magic up, increase that counter chance. I don't really know if this is going to be that good, so I'm not too worried about it, but if you end up getting it, maybe you'll farm it for Rubicante or somebody in the future, okay? Next up is Chloe's Limit Burst, which is Academic Approach, I do believe. This Limit Burst is actually really, really strong. Once you max it out, it's going to give your defense and, your magic and spirit, I do believe, 74% up, and then it's also going to do all elemental resist by 74% up for 3 turns. And I think this is an extremely strong Limit Burst in terms of just boosting up your team's stats, guys. I mean, Bahamut seems like one right here we need to talk about. Now, I know my video isn't out for Bahamut yet. I haven't actually fought him yet. I've farmed a bunch of rat tails, but I want to wait on stream to do it first time, so I think I'm going to do it today. It's Halloween, so happy Halloween to you guys anyway also. So, it's going to be good because when you get into that fight, you can build up the Limit Burst, right? You can run around the exploration and go in there. And then his first thing he's going to do is that Mega Flare, and it hurts really bad. But, and then after that, he'll do some elemental damage. So if you use this move for the next 3 turns, you'll be good to go. Like, I think it gives you a really high stat up if you don't have Soleil. I mean, Soleil is going to give you a little bit more in the spirit range, barely, but it also puts your elemental res up for 3 turns. I think it's very, very strong there. So what else can Chloe do for you? Well, Chloe can raise any one element AoE to your team by 70%. So you have to do it slowly. So you can be like, I want to put my Dark Resist stuff by 70%. That's the turn. I want to put my Fire Resist stuff. And while that may seem kind of like, I don't know about that, a lot of the bosses don't hit for a million different elemental resists. So, example for the Halloween boss going on right now, the Nightmare mode, Fire and Dark is all you need up. And 70% is an awful lot, so that's pretty good right there. She can also put magic killers on people for 2 turns, so it's 50% to certain enemies. She doesn't do them all, but she does quite a few of them. And that can help you out if you're using a mage team to do a little bit more damage to each of them. Speaking of Bahamut, you can put that magic damage on there and just put it on Xyrus, do that 50% and just do more damage if you're trying to do that one-shot build, which I just want to say, when I make my video and I use Xyrus, I had that ready before I saw anybody else do it. Promise. Rachel shows that. Anyway, we're getting off topic. But yeah, so, and then that's pretty much it for Chloe. There's not much more to her. She does have a break that's 45% of defense and spirit, which is pretty cool. And that's just an extra little salt on top. So overall, I'm actually kind of excited to try to use Chloe in a lot of these budget builds. They're gonna, like, Manphilia is a really good option, but if you missed out on her, Chloe, you don't have Marie, you don't have somebody out there that's like a really great, call him Green Mage. Chloe can get there for you and do a lot of stuff for you. So I actually like Chloe a lot. I think, overall, I'm gonna give her maybe like a 7 out of 10. She has a lot of uses, and I think her limit burst is pretty busted, but she is kind of limited to what else she can do. The next unit on this banner, and the final one we're going to be talking about, is Loren, or Lorraine, from the JP version. She is a 5-star base going up to 6-star damage dealer with a little bit of support added in. Her TMR is Awesome Swordsman, which is one of the best TMRs in the game. That's going to give you dual wield in materia form, which is not as good as the Genji Glove, but wait, there's more. 15% mastery to sword, great sword, katana, or dagger. So that's right, it's going to be 30% if you equip a great sword and a sword, or great sword and a katana, dagger and sword. So if you put those together, that is going to make that Awesome Swordsman pretty darn good. In most cases, better than Genji Glove. The only time it's not is when you want to equip a fist. So you want to do the whole fist, Champion's Belt, Yoon's TMR. So you're not really going to use Awesome Swordsman. You're going to use the Genji Glove there. And on mages, they don't really care about the Awesome Swordsman, except for maybe the mages who use, you know, swords, but you probably want to use lighter in arms anyway. So I would just go ahead and go with Genji Glove when it comes to mages. But as far as normal damage dealers, if you don't want to worry about putting fist on them, Awesome Swordsman, for example, Orlando, Awesome Swordsman is going to be there for you. Going to be awesome. Best in slot. Banger of a TM, alright? So moving on, what can Lorraine equip? Lorraine can equip all the greats, daggers, katanas, great swords, and she also put it on lances, which is pretty cool. But she cannot equip a fist, so she can't do the whole fist thing without using the grappling equip or whatever. It lets you put on a fist weapon. But other than that, she has great equipment options, which is awesome. She has a lot of passives and non-offensive abilities, so we're going to talk about those first. Unhesitating Will allows her to stop herself from being broken in the attack, defense, spirit, and magic range for 3 turns. Now, this is pretty cool to have on her, but most of the time, you're just going to be using somebody else that does it on the whole team, so it could find its uses somewhere, maybe, but most of the time, probably not. I mean, you're probably going to use an AoE one there. She has Pressure, which I really like this. It is an AoE on the enemy Mass Dispel. That's going to be important. That comes in handy in a lot of places, so that's going to be awesome. She also has Full Break Plus, and it is a 45% break to attack, defense, magic, and spirit for 3 turns. This is awesome. This, you know, normally people are using Warrior Light, you know, 45% to magic and spirit, or excuse me, magic and attack, 45% to defense and spirit. Now you get it all in one little crisp box, and on top of that, she has a 20, with Gap Closer, which is a passive, she has a 20% chance just to counter with Full Break Plus. So it'd be awesome if she got hit by something and then she just hits it and refreshes it for you so you don't have to. Pretty damn good with that. Next up, she has a move called Model of Eris. Now, this is going to increase her defense and attack by 50% for 4 turns, and it also unlocks 3 of her abilities for 3 turns, so this is going to be similar to Synthesis by Riku, but we'll get into those abilities when we talk about her offensive abilities. The Model of Eris is going to put up your attack and defense by 50% and unlock those abilities for you guys, okay? Next up, one of her best passives is Twin Blade General. That's going to give her dual wield and then give her attack, defense, spirit by 30% up. So that's just a passive attack, defense, and spirit up, and then she also gets dual wield innately. So anybody that does that's good by me. She has auto refresh to get up that MP like we want. She has Leader of Knights. It's going to increase blind, paralyzed, and petrify resist by 100%. She ain't got to worry about those. She has Unbreakable Heart. Now, I really wish this Unbreakable Heart would have been replaced with, like, the move where it's like, where they don't die, you know, they go to 1 and then they don't die. But it's okay. Increase defense and spirit by 100% when health goes below 30%. So, pretty tanky if she could last that long. 100% buff's pretty good. However, at the same time, we're going to have, like, you probably have somebody who can buff up that anyway. I mean, a lot of people should be using Soleil if you're not, because they're not giving us Bards, so Soleil's your way to go. We're not singing, we're dancing instead. She has Sword Mastery, so that's 50% to attack when equipped with a sword. So, pair that with Twin Blade General, that's 80% attack buffs, in her own kit, so it's awesome. She has High Tide, which is going to put that limit burst up by 100%, fill rate by 100%. So speaking of her limit burst, let's go ahead and start getting into our damage dealing abilities. Kingdom's Order, okay? It's going to do 8.4 times damage to all enemies. So it's physical damage. So it's 4.2 times with a 50% ignore defense. So I think it goes to 8.4 times. You just double it up there. Freaking phenomenal. That's a lot of damage. This is when it's maxed out. And then it's going to decrease lightning and wind resist by 74% for 3 turns. And then you know how her other ability will unlock those 3 moves. Her limit burst also unlocks those 3 moves. So let's get into that. how are we going to be using Lorraine to actually do damage? So first off, we'll go over the abilities you're probably not going to be using. We have Grease Lightning, physical damage 2.5 times with ignore defense 50%. So that's going to go to a 5 times multiplier and hit 8 times. This move seems pretty good. Not the worst move in the world. It's going to be a 5 times multiplier, 8 hit. Pretty strong there. 50 MP though, so and it also takes a turn to rev up, so that's why I'm saying you probably won't use this one. You'll use her normal move she has all the time. Then she has Quick Bolt Blade, which is lightning physical damage, so when you use the limit burst, we're putting that lightning resist down 2.25 times with ignore defense 50%, which goes up to you know, the 5 times multiplier there too, a little bit over 5 times. To one enemy, it's 1 hit. So instead of being a chaining, this is her finisher. Her finisher isn't that strong. It's only a 5 times multiplier. We've seen a bunch of others have 5 times multiplier, so Quick Bolt Blade may have its uses, but not that big of a deal. And then we have Swift Wind Blade, which I think is one of the ones you may end up using. Wind physical damage 4.5 times to one enemy with the 74% imperil. It's going to be doing a lot of damage. It is 10 hits, and I do believe the framing on this is 7s, so, you know, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. And the people that can in Global right now that can chain with her would be Onion Knight or Tri-Beam Laser enhanced twice by Ace. So she does have some chaining partners in there where I don't think you can perfect chain with them, but you can get pretty good chaining abilities with those two people. So you're asking yourself, well, Claic, what do you want to use on this unit? She has Blade Prison, and that's, she gets that at 6-star at level 91. It does 4 times to one enemy, so that's going to be similar to, you know, Orlando, his Divine Ruination, and it's going to hit 10 times, so it hits a little bit more times. The problem is it doesn't have an imperil with it, it doesn't have an element with it. But overall, if you have someone else imperiling with her, she could do pretty well here, and then you put a weapon into her hand that can do the damage you need. So, for example, there will be a greatsword, I do believe. I can't remember if it's a sword or greatsword that comes out that's lightning-based eventually in Global. Hopefully it comes. It's a TMR on somebody that came out in JP. That'll be perfect for her because you throw it on her, use her limit burst to put lightning down by 74%. You get in there, you do damage, and then, like, with Blade Prison, right, you stack it up, you start doing damage, and then I think a finisher for her once Olive gets her enhancements, you just use Olive with the gun, you know, her gun, Sparky. So I think this will be very good in Global. I think a lot of people are kind of missing out on that, like that with the lightning apparel plus Sparky on Olive. This could be a great setup here for your team once we get that greatsword, because we don't have a lot of lightning great lightning weapons, but that greatsword is going to change things right there. The people she can chain with the non-elemental hit is 8, so I think it's 42, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, I do believe, and so that's going to be amazing. She can chain with Inacol, which is kind of whatever. Transterra, so when she gets that, you know, Transterra gets that hand, she can chain with her. Gabronth, Nyx, and Eileen +2. So when I say Eileen +2, that means she's enhanced twice whenever Eileen gets her enhancements. So she has a lot of people she can chain with. You know, everybody got Nyx out there, she can chain with Nyx, but I do believe in the future, using Blade Prison after using her Limit Burst with Olive, using 2 of these, you know, maybe a friend unit will have her. This could be a lot of damage in the future. I think she's really awesome. Overall, I really wish she would have been on the EX point system, but I do want everybody to have a chance at her. But does everybody really have a great chance at her at 5-star base? I don't know what that move was. It's kind of weird. So overall, I'm going to give our Lorraine here, okay, so we're going to talk about this. This is the ranking after the greatsword, because we have to wait for that lightning sword for her to be that great. But she's going to get a ranking of an 8 out of 10. Very, very powerful. Not as powerful as the most powerful people, because she does need some enablers and an imperil, or she has to wait for her own imperil to go off. But once Olive gets enhancements, and if they're good, I think she could be a monster when it comes to doing damage. Alright guys, so this is the conclusion of the banner review, and I'm going to do it a little bit differently now. I think I need to talk to 3 different groups in the FFBE community. We're going to talk to the whales and tell you if you should pull, we're going to talk to the dolphins and tell you if you should pull, and we're going to talk to the free-to-play because they have very different philosophies when it comes to the game. So we're going to start out with free-to-play, okay? Free-to-play people, should you pull? No. Do not pull in this banner, and when I say pull, I mean use an excessive amount of tickets or any of your Lapis or 10+1 tickets, okay? Do not use them on this banner. The reason is the value isn't there for the 3-star base and the TMR. The 4-star base and the TMR isn't that great. The 4-star base can be used, but, you know, I think Minfilia is coming back out again, so if you guys missed out on her, she can kind of take the spot of her and do a little bit more, really, in a lot of ways. Just can't match that 70% all the way up. And then, as far as Lorraine is concerned, very good. Just cannot really use her right now for her full potential until you get the Great Sword, and the Great Sword is a TMR, and then you're going to have to farm for that as a free-to-play, so it's going to be rough for you. refilling your lapis and stuff if you do macro farm. So I'm gonna say a no for free to play, but you can do dailies and tickets if you'd like. I just wouldn't spend any lapis. Going up to dolphins, same answer. It is a no. I know you guys spend money on this game, but the problem is you guys don't spend as much as well. So you guys probably really want that awesome swordsman TM just like everybody else, but you are chasing a 5-star banner. But a word of caution here, she could always come back on the EX point system. Who knows what they're doing with that? And two, this banner is a normal banner. It has one 3-star, it has one 4-star, it has one 5-star. So there's no crazy calculations of like being just smoshed down with so many units. I mean, you are probably going to get these units in a timely manner if RNG is nice to you and it plays out. But overall, I'd still say no. Use some tickets, use some free pools, whatever you guys want, that's fine. Moving on to Wells, this is an up to you. And the reason I say not a yes is because I'm scared she may just show up on the EX point system again. It is, and you kind of are only getting her for a TMR. A lot of you Wells out there probably have better units. Now, if you really want Lorraine and you really want to use her in your team with Olive, you know, lightning chaining there, once that greatsword comes out, go for it, guys. Spend some lapis, some 5x11, 5x11 pulls. You know, the 10+1 pulls. Use whatever you guys want. Use some lapis, 5k lapis if you'd like. But then again, it's an up to you thing. I really want it. I'm probably going to do like 4x11 pulls, and that's how it's going to be. So, that's how I review this banner. It's a no-no and a maybe. And guys, before I conclude this video, I want you guys, I'm going to do a video either tonight or tomorrow, depending on the comments, asking me questions you guys would like me to answer in my vlog. So in this vlog, I'm going to discuss the 7 stars that just came out in JP. I'm going to discuss the state of the game in a way, and then I just want more things to talk about. I had things written down, but I can't remember off the top of my head. So comment down below and tell me things you guys like to talk about in my vlog. I'd like to do this weekly or bi-weekly or maybe even monthly, depending on how many things are going on in the game. That way, you guys, if you guys want to hear anything from me, I can talk to you guys about this. So if you like that video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below with what I just said, and then subscribe for future content. Enjoy Halloween, guys, and happy Halloween. Catch you guys later.